When you go to Orlando to visit the parks, chances are you won't find a better collection than what you can find at the Universal Orlando Resort. Since they opened in 1990, they have quickly grown into a destination for both theme park fans and coaster enthusiasts alike for their well-rounded collection. But have you noticed something weird? Every Universal Orlando park almost has the exact same coaster lineup. There is something I have noticed with each of their 3 theme parks. Every single one only features 4 coasters. Technically, Islands Adventure has 5 with tear-down flyers, but, well, it's designed for such a niche crowd, most of the time people forget it exists. So for the sake of this video, I'm gonna leave it out. And each of those 4 coasters fits perfectly into a gap that needs to be filled. Those 4 categories include Standout Coaster, Kiddie, Story Coaster, and Classic Coaster. So we are going to run through each of these and find out what they mean and which ride fits into that category. Starting with, well, I think we all know what this one is. This is the big coaster everyone goes to the park for and the most famous there. These rides work to draw in millions of people from across the globe and truly sets it as a destination park. These rides are also the easiest to categorize for me as well. There's not really a debate. For Islands Adventure, it's easily VelociCoaster. This ride is called the apex predator of coasters after all. This thing towers above the rest of its park right on the lagoon and has its insane Mosasaurus roll over the water. For Epic Universe, there's not even a chance for others to take the spot as it goes to Stardust Racers. As the successor to Dueling Dragons and VelociCoaster, it has a commanding presence in its park. Its insane dueling moments are breathtaking right in view of the entire Celestial Park. Speaking of Celestial stuff, that Celestial spin is just the chef's kiss. It might be the standout coaster moment in Florida, and some consider it better than the Mosasaurus roll. The final coaster with this standout title doesn't exist yet. You see, Universal Studios has this ride under construction. They removed their standout late 2025 with the removal of the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, which was the tallest at the resort. But next year, that gap will be filled once again with Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. This ride will be the new tallest coaster at the resort, standing 170 feet tall, and will have spinning trains. But until then, on with the next category. Alright, because this is probably the next easiest category, let's go ahead and knock it out, shall we? Kiddie Coaster is the ride that all of those little siblings can go on while the older ones goes for the standouts. This is used to separate those kids into 2 groups. The thrill seekers who want to do this forever and will eventually get on rides like VelociCoaster, and the not so thrill seekers who will want nothing to do with coasters and instead stick to ET. At Islands Adventure, this is obviously Flight of the Hippogriff. It is a relatively tame Vekoma family coaster with a short ride time and not a lot of action. Over at Universal Studios, it is a Troller Coaster, standing even smaller than Hippogriff and with an even kiddier theme. This is a very easy ride for all ages and is the first step kids can take at the resort. Over at Epic Universe, though, it gets tricky. There are 2 I consider for this one, Donkey Kong and Curse of the Werewolf. I consider, though, Curse of the Werewolf to actually be the right pick for this. It is smooth, quick, low to the ground, and even if the spinning can get out of control, I still think it makes more sense. So with that, we have finished this category. This is usually the second most sought after coaster after, well, the Standout. People might even wait longer for these ones than the big rides because they deliver something the standouts cannot: an experience. Story coasters try to tell, well, a story, and they tend to do it quite well, usually with voice lines, show scenes, and effects to bring their world to life. Now, going in the order you should have caught onto by now, starting with Islands, you have Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Well, that name alone could be a story on its own, am I right? No? Anyway, Hagrid takes you on a crazy ride through the Forbidden Forest on a motorbike, where you learn about all these crazy creatures that live off Hogwarts grounds, and it all culminates in one of the best coaster storytelling experiences ever. Over at Universal Studios, it's easily Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Wow, another Harry Potter coaster, who knew? This coaster is easily the most technically advanced ride in the park, featuring not 1 but 2 tilt tracks to tell the story of this ride. This also features spinning trains that point you at the action throughout the ride, even though it doesn't even spin during the coaster sections. Even though there is another story-based coaster in this park, I believe this ride tells a much more grand one featuring a daring, well, Escape from Gringotts.
It's the safest place on Earth.
Hiccup's Wing Gliders is the most story-driven coaster at Epic Universe. Even though it's also close with Minecart Madness, it pulls out slightly ahead. This attraction is more pure coaster, but it features two great show scenes. One with Hiccup and Toothless, and also one with exploding Gronkle eggs, which actually has smoke effects and mind-blowing animatronics, especially that Toothless one. This coaster does more than that, with it having randomized voice line tracks, as well as some of the best coaster audio ever with Test Drive playing in the background. Well, the final category. The classic coasters at this park, while they aren't the most popular anymore, they are the most iconic. They are the rides people grew up riding and keep that nostalgic feel for the entire park. Usually these coasters are hit or miss, but me personally, these all seem to be hits. So without further ado, let's cap off these lists. The first of these three is the incredible Hulk Coaster. This is the main classic of the resort. It's smack right at the entrance of Islands of Adventure with its crazy intense cobra roll over the water. Its first iteration opened with the park in 1999 and got a retrack in 2016. But even with that, it's still the classic. I will say this ride has a bit of a bite to it with its retrack and not exactly the smoothest. But hey, that's character, I guess. The studio's classic is easily Revenge of the Mummy. It was USF's first major coaster, and for being a family coaster, it's actually really good. It really hits the sweet spot for nostalgia and for ride experience, and really, there is no reason to ever remove this. It's easier to maintain it with it being inside, as well as it having a lot of refurbs. So maybe this can stay the classic for a long time. Epic is an interesting case for this because, well, it just opened. So, well, actually, there is a coaster we can use for this, and if you have been following along the pattern, there is one left. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. This might actually fit. It has the longest way in the park on average, which is either because of its awful capacity or it actually being that popular. But that's not all. Let's take a look at this IP. Donkey Kong is a household name and a classic one at that, being around for the longest time, and chances are this ride will be around for a long time. It is incredibly similar to Revenge of the Mummy, and well, it has a jank to it that makes it feel classic too. So, even though it's not really a classic, it is a classic in a bunch of more ways. Well, with all of that finished up, you can tell Universal has filled a bunch of unique gaps that all work in tandem to make the resort so great. If there is one thing people can look forward to, it's the coasters always delivering, because they stick to one niche and they knock it out of the park. But with that, I want to thank you for watching, and do you have anything else you want to add? Drop it in the comments below. I would love it if you subscribed and followed along with me as I talk about Universal, roller coasters, and theme parks. But I will see you next time.